G'day everyone. Welcome back to another installment of the late afternoon glass off. As always, I'm joined here by my good friend Zach Peter Whiteman. Zach, where in the world are you right now? And talk to us what's been going on.
Hello again, Finley. Thank you for the middle name plug.
That's all right.
If anyone didn't know, now they have my full name. Um, so yes, please make some fake credit cards out of those. I am in Bali, more specifically up in the Bukit at the moment, staying in Bingen here on a work trip. It's been pretty glorious, mate. Can't complain.
It looks it. Looks like you're having a hell time. What like many waves going on over there? Have you been scoring or?
Yeah, so it's been pretty mammoth 48 hours. We're only here for 6 days, so it's kind of go, go, go. We flew in pretty late on Monday night. We arrived around midnight. A few of the other crew arrived around 1 a.m. and then we're actually packing the car at 5 a.m. that morning to go to Karamas because it is a bit of a mission from this side to that side. So, and then we surfed Karamas all day. We jet Dahan skated as well. There's a little pretty sick little skate park at Commune at Karamas there, which I had no idea about, which was sick. And then we went out for dinner, had a glass of wine and whatnot. One wine turned into two bottles, and then we ran into about half of Australia, pretty much. Half of the QS is here just on holiday mode, so ended up having a pretty beery night. I capped it early, but a few of the crew went on and had a pretty monster night, I think. And then we were back up early this morning again, so surfing a lot and definitely got the a bit of a red tarp on the back at the moment. It's seen better days.
That's all right. It's you're only there for a week, mate, so you can max that out. Glad to hear you're enjoying yourself anyway.
What I
Uh,
am missing though
Go
is a
on.
good old Yulees. Fuck, I miss them already. Oh, don't do it to me. I've been drinking the cat piss called Bintang.
Not going down as well.
Nah, for some reason I was on the plane like, oh boys, I'm gonna be so keen to smack some binnies, and I had one, and I was like, oh, okay, just not the same as the Yulees, Jed.
I'm on the what's this? I'm on the sea bass right now, which
You're on the
is
sea bass, and that you
beautiful
said
as
this
well.
last time that I look like the guy on the can.
Mm.
I feel like that guy right now.
You
I
feel
am so crusty. I'm like one of those, the crabs that are dead and they've just a shell. There's no meat
yes.
left. That feels like me right now. But other than
Oh,
that, mate, I'm good. What's been going on in your world?
as usual, not much.
Doing
Been
God's work, mate. Making sure everyone's fucking well stocked.
yeah, yeah. I've been in the shop once again. Few little days of waves. The last couple. Lennox Point has the Mariana Trench that sort of has been plaguing Lennox Point has filled in slightly, but it's still not sort of ideal. Although it has been quite fun, so we've been out there getting stuck in, and then had a proper little late arvo glass off the Savo. Actually, it was howling northerly all day, and it went offshore in the afternoon. And your local Sharps Beach was really fun. Few little barrels out there to be had, so that was really enjoyable. Um,
Was
yeah, on
anyone
the,
regulating? Anyone making anyone sign in the logbook or QR code in?
Yeah, and Harry O'Brien was out there, and if you've seen his recent haircut, you'd know he's not someone to be messed with. He looks like if you shaved Garfield and then just let him loose in some kind of bird sanctuary. That's pretty well what he's doing right now. So, yeah, watch out for Harry. Moving on though, we kind of sort of a week of much enjoyment for myself and Zach surfing wise in terms of a
Man,
certain result that happened. We're not going to go straight into that though. We talked about this. We're gonna as the young crew are calling it edge. We're gonna edge our listeners. Um,
edge. I don't think the young crew are calling that. It's just a straight up sex term, Finley.
well, we're gonna.
Edging
That's
has
what we're
been
gonna
around
do.
since the fucking gorilla times, brother.
All right. Well, maybe I'm beyond that then, but that's the plan for now. But we're gonna go straight into the surfer of the week, and the North Shore of Oahu has come out with many a good surfer. One that you actually had to look up because you weren't actually sure of who he was, Makana Franzman. Um, he
Hell, nice name.
Yeah, crazy. He stomped an absolute stonker of an alley oop seemingly this week. He posted it this week anyway, so we'll run with that. And paired it up with a cheeky little indie grab, which I sort of haven't really seen before. Super techie. Can you comment on that, Zach? Have you ever really thrown one of those down?
Nah, an alley-oop is a maneuver that I feel like even if I had a gun to my head, I probably wouldn't be able to pull one off. They're just something that I've just never tried too often. And then I've done one or two, and I come in, I look at footage, and I pretty much think I'm John, and it's like a full old school like Joel Parker, like just up, down, and then spin,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much just an ollie. So I gave up on those rather quickly and just went to the more traditional airverse, which I'm still trying to learn. But no, the one that this guy does, McCanna, insane to do it that lofty and throw a grab in so effortlessly. It looks like it just kind of naturally come about. Super impressive. But the most impressive part about that punt was the fucking knee brace he's wearing. It's a full bionicle knee brace. So he's nursing an injury and then just all that goes out the window and just goes, fuck it, I'm going to huck this thing up and see what happens, and pulled it off. So balls to the wall kind of surfing.
A man after your own heart, mate. A fellow knee sort of companion. He look when we think about wave pools, a lot of people sort of default to the old, like it doesn't count because it's not in the ocean. I don't necessarily agree with this, but I think you can argue I don't think you can argue against like the effectiveness of these pools in elevating what's possible in the sport. And McCanna stomped this thing. It's absolutely massive, but he's got some clips around about the time that Stab High was running in that pool that they did the event in. And look, he's clearly practiced this and then taken it out in the ocean. And this one is way bigger than anything you land in the pools. And I just think it sort of speaks to like, yes, maybe it's an artificial environment and it's not technically as like, I don't know. I mean, to me, if I was in a wave pool and I did a big air, I'd be so frothing. So I don't really want to say that, but people do sort of come out with the argument that it doesn't really count. But for him to practice that in the pool and then go out and do a bigger version in the ocean was sort of what grabbed my attention. And I think it's really impressive. Has to sort of be one of the airs of 2025 so far as well. And there's been some big ones this year. So to throw that in the mix as well was really impressive. And yeah, that kind of grabbed my attention as Surfer of the Week for this week.
And how's we didn't do Surfer of the Week last week and we thought we got away with it and we got grilled. So I'm glad that there's actually some, oh no, I was going to say a word, but then you would have pulled me up on it.
Well, no, there's some eagle-eyed listeners out there that are making sure we stay honest. So
Attentive is what came to mind, but oh man, my mind just went to about 50 different words at once.
Yeah, no,
I got a bit scared. I should have pulled the trigger, Finley. I could have got it that time, but I pulled the brakes. Yes, right. An attentive listener said, "What about Surf of the Week?" And I was like, "Oh, wow, we got pulled up on it." So it's back. Bit of a sabbatical last week, but it's back.
Yeah, we won't miss anymore. Now you may have thought it would have gone to the person that everyone is on everyone's lips this week. It hasn't, because we thought that'd be a bit of a cop out. So we've gone for McCanna here, and we're going to run with that. Now, J-Bay, final
get
day,
into it, mate.
Yeah, final day surfing, a longish wait between competition days, and was rewarded with immaculate J-Bay conditions in that sort of 6 foot plus range. Perfect winds. How much of that did you watch, Zach? Were you as glued to your TV screen as I was?
I didn't watch a whole lot. Like you already know, I am in bed by, 8:30 each night.
And
You're
also camping.
I was camping, which makes it incredibly hard. And I was actually really lucky that I had reception for the final day. But we've already done the recap on the first half, so it was kind of, the Friday that is worth talking about, realistically, the finals day. And my God, was that a day to go down in surfing history. There's one thing I want to get off my chest, and it's this comment. It might have been Briggsy. It might have been someone else, and it was the best comment. I really resonated with it, and it was, "This feels like a blue-collar win."
Yeah.
That's just, when I saw that, I just giggled, and I went, that's fucking bang on the money.
Yeah, it really did. It was a working class win, and we'll get into it. Firstly,
Yeah,
some
sorry, I
disappointment.
jumped the gun there. I was camping at the time, but managed to have a little bit of reception. 2 bars, all I needed, and my God, was that just such a fantastic night of surfing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, and I got a message from you at God knows what time it was. Like you just watched that, and I was like, I was still up. I don't think I missed a second of that day of surfing. So I'm pretty clued in.
Were you
Um,
shocked that I was awake?
I actually was. Yeah, I
To
was.
be honest with you, I was awake at about 8 o'clock, which was the quarter.
Mm,
And then I was frothing. I was like, "Yeah, I'll check it in the morning after," and I fell asleep for the semi. So I actually missed the juicy stuff. But then I reawoke naturally. How's this? I didn't even like no alarm, no nothing. Was planning to actually sleep and just reawoke. And is that a word?
yeah, I think people understand what you mean.
I swear I'm not an idiot to our listeners. Um, yeah, it's just like my eyes just like opened up, and I was like, oh, I can't sleep. It was super windy night, and the tent was kind of flapping, so I was like, oh fuck, I can't sleep. Anyway, I was like, oh, I'll just check my phone, and there it was, ready to go. So
Beautiful.
yeah, I did actually get to watch a little bit of the surfing.
The final, beautiful. Well, look, I'll fill you in basically. So I've gone through and done my usual disappointments and surprises. Start off with the disappointments though. We'll start off with the negatives. And again, we can't be too negative because these people all made finals day. I'm being picky here. Um, and the first one especially isn't a negative really. It was just almost an opportunity gone begging here. I thought maybe for Leo Fioranti. Lost against Yago in the quarters, and look, given the surface he had to face on his side of the draw, I think he was a really good shot to make the final at least. Um, he but it really just came down to Yago having priority at the end of the heat, and the best wave of the heat came in, and it basically knocked Leo out. He was in a really good position before that, and just this crazy set came, and you could see him stacking up to the horizon, and Yago took off on one and belted it all the way down the line, and they really had no option but to give him the score. But yeah, look, it was one of those events that I feel like if he got through that heat, he could have maybe gone on a bit of a run. The bottom half of the draw was really where all the action was in terms of contenders, and that sort of showed with the eventual winner. But yeah, sort of a little bit of a letdown there for Leo. Then moving on to the ladies' side of things. Now, Tyler Wright did not look good at all when the waves got bigger. Did you see any of Tyler's surfing?
Did not, no.
No.
I didn't watch much of the women's actually, except for the final. I did
Yeah,
watch the
okay.
final. But
Well,
just going back to Leo, I
yeah.
feel like that's his last hurrah, in my opinion. I can't see him doing too well or being a standout or a favourite for Tahiti. So I feel like that was his kind of final dance for the year, perhaps. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, but that was his one to really capitalise on and finish strong for the year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, with Leo, you know he'll turn and go. It's just maybe the people in the draw around him are going to be a little bit more
It's just
sort of a
hard.
specialist at
Yeah.
that venue.
Yep.
Especially with some of the wild cards, and we won't go too deep into Chopes because we'll do our preview in the next week or so. But yeah, some of the wild cards that are going to be in that event are going to be pretty dangerous. So yeah, look, a real big missed opportunity there for Leo. Yeah, back to Tyler. Didn't look good when the waves got bigger at all. She really dodged a massive bullet, and we touched on this last week with just Erin making that error in the elimination round, which allowed Tyler to basically get the wave and get the score. To be fair to Tyler, she still had to surf the thing, but she should have never really been given the opportunity. Um, Clearly outclassed by Gabby in the quarterfinals. Tyler didn't manage to get out of the 5 range, and Gabby put up a 15.3 heat total against her. So that one was sort of shut down pretty quickly for Tyler. Another one which was a bit disappointing was Katie Simmers. So she fell out of the draw in the quarters also, only managing a 9.67 heat total, which by her lofty standards is a complete and utter shocker. I think, though, the main difference here between her and Tyler is that Katie has a bit of an excuse with the lack of experience she has there. And by her own admission, she really struggles to read that wave, and that's kind of reinforced with her performances there. I did a bit of digging. She surfed 5 heats over 2 events there, and her average heat total is 8.36. So I don't know if you can speak on that, but that's pretty low for Katie.
That's incredibly low. That's quite shocking, to be honest, especially for her and how flow state she can get in on a long right hander. So to see that number, quite shocking, but I feel like that's just going to get better and better as she gets
100%.
older, figures it out. So it is a tricky wave, I've heard. I've never surfed it personally, but I have heard it's tricky and it goes fast and slow and then fast again. And so to manage that is going to be hard. So sounds like she's just got to figure that out.
100%. And look, I've got no doubts either that Katie will come good there. That sort of relaxed style she has done really well for some of the greats at J-Bay. Like you think of Parker and Steph, similar styles of surfing. And I think watch out to the rest of the tour when she figures that wave out, because she's going to be a tough one to beat. Now into the surprises. Iago Dora, first one. Your pick for the win in this event, actually. And just to give you some flowers quickly, you actually did very surprisingly well at picking the winners and dark horses. So I think you picked Iago for the win. He got second. You picked Gabby for the win in the ladies, which she actually won. And then you picked Connor as your dark horse, and he won. So
It only took me 6 fucking months to do it.
that's all right. You nearly
Every
done the
other
23.
event, it's just been dog shit. So I finally got one on the board.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's all right, mate. You've done far better than I have. Iago, though, when the win went offshore on that finals day and the swell came up, I'd pretty much written Iago off, to be honest. I thought I was so confident Leo was going to beat him in that quarterfinal. But Iago just kept doing the damn thing, and throughout the event, he maintained a 15-point heat total average the whole way through. So if you're putting numbers up like that, you're going to be tough to beat no matter where in the world you are. What was kind of wasn't really someone that I even considered picking for J-Bay. Why did you pick him? What was your thoughts there?
As mentioned in the previous episode, he's got that fire, he's got that desire, he wants to win, and when people find that mojo, it's tough to break. And he is one of the best surfers on tour, very underrated and has been for a long time. So the talent's always there, it's just whether it can click. And lately it's been clicking for our good friend Iago, so I just thought he's just going to keep going on a roll.
Yeah.
Backhand is probably not, well, for the goofies, probably not what everyone's thinking to throw in your fantasy. But if someone can click, man, it's so much more explosive in my opinion. Maybe not as beautiful to watch as someone like flying down the line on their forehand doing Ethan Ewing big carves and things. But if you can find that pocket and go 12 o'clock, so much more explosive in my opinion.
Yeah. And look, it's really starting to, I mean, if it wasn't already, it's really starting to feel like this is Iago's year. The only thing standing in his way of another CT win at J-Bay was none other than a dear friend of the show, our man, Mr. Connor O'Leary. How was that?
I've been saying it all week, mate. It was teary for O'Leary. I'm just going to come out and say it on the record. There were tears in the tent at Sandon River, which is pretty strange to think about it. But
Wow.
it just felt so fucking good, man. Like the part where I think I got a bit emotional is like I've been training with Connor for a long time, like physical training, not surf training, and like what he does in the gym is incredible. He has every excuse, well, not excuse. He could always just like do 60% and everyone would be frothing. But he's there properly putting 100% in on the assault bike. And this one, I feel like, is a win for Connor and Pete Roberts, to be honest. He's strength and conditioning trainer. So for me to like be around him training so hard when he, could have tapped out or could have given us excuses, which I've trained with other people and they do. They go, I'm just not feeling it, or, I've been surfing, I'm just going to go light today. And then obviously because they're pro surfers, people go, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Connor's someone who just goes, you know what, I'm going to give it 100% all the time. And so that's why for me, I was just like, wow, this feels so good. It feels so right. There's no one more deserving. And the funny part was I thought they'd just be like our kind of crew saying like this is the best thing ever, like whatever. But I feel like the whole surf industry was like waiting for this moment, like unconsciously. There was, I don't know, just so much uproar behind this win. It felt bigger, even though it wasn't a world title, but it felt similar. I don't know if it's just because like the people we follow on Instagram obviously love Connor as well, but there was people like sharing it, liking it, commenting and stuff, which there is every event win, but I don't know. This one just felt like it went to a broader audience for some reason.
Yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, we posted a reel that went absolutely gangbusters, and it just was just flooded with comments of people from all walks of life just getting behind him. And I'd imagine the vast majority have never even come across him in their lives. You know, they were just everyone was so happy for. It was a real win for the good guys here. I feel like he was just so well deserving of that result, and it's taken a while for him to get it. I think it's been 7 or 8 years since his last
8
CT
years.
final.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for him to finally clock another one and actually put up the win this time was massive. And yeah, I'm keen as to see him over the weekend and catch up and have a chat about it. You can probably block your ears here, but Occy can jam it because I think there's a new sheriff in town. That was would it be inaccurate for me to say that that's the best backhand surfing you ever seen?
Yeah, we've been saying it on the potty, mate, for the last 4 episodes. He's the best goofy footer on the planet right now. And that is the proof in the pudding. There is no other way to solidify that because there's only been two goofy footers ever win there. Occy and kill me, I'm going to get this wrong. Do you know?
Medina?
Help me.
Was it Medina?
I don't know. Help a brother out. But
Medina and Italo had a final there. I'm pretty sure Medina came on top on that one.
so to be in that list of names, which is very short, only three, insane. Has to be the best goofy footer on tour right now, and if not the world. So yeah, to see it come to fruition, all that hard work, oh mate, teary for a leery.
Yeah, and he had to do it dirty to begin with. Like on the smaller days, did what he had to do to get through his heats. In the first 3 rounds, he averaged 11.26 heat total. So, I mean, not terrible, but also not great either. But then when the waves arrived, that's when Connor sort of arrived as well. And on finals day, he averaged just a tick over 16 points, 16.12 across 3 heats. Just mammoth, like went back to back to back. I think 16 points, 16 points, and then high 15 points in the final. Obviously getting his first 10-point ride as well, which was huge. That wave was magic, and he couldn't have really surfed it any better. Just matching power with power, and sort of an opportunity that he went on and that swell literally in the last day or so, and talked about that's the first, like pretty much the only barrel he's ever had at J-Bay. And he just pretty well thought, if I don't pull in here, I'm going to get left behind by the wave. And that's kind of like my best option at this point. So he just kind of packed the thing, came out, and then proceeded to smack it the whole way down the rest of the line. And yeah, put his hands up at the end and 10 points. That wave was just ridiculous.
Full leg burner. I would hate to be the lactic acid in his legs after that.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, like you said, you couldn't have done any better.
Just as well there, before we go too far on from here, just with that Ethan heat. Now, look, maybe take your Billabong hat off slightly here, because obviously Ethan's your guy also. And this isn't an anti-Ethan sort of, I don't know, thing to say. Like, it's not, we're not going after Ethan here at all. But that heat where Connor versus Ethan, it might have been the round or the quarterfinal. I don't really know what the judges wanted Connor to do in that heat. He really was trying everything, and he couldn't have done any more. And it seemed like they just, no matter what happened in that heat, they were giving the scores to Ethan over Connor. And it wasn't until his last wave where he did need a score. And don't get me wrong, he slapped the thing the whole way down the line and made him think about it. But I think there was almost like a bit of thinking from the judges that, hey, we better sort of pump this score up slightly just to make up for the maybe lack of scores that we've given him throughout the heat, because he really couldn't have done much more. and it seemed like Ethan was doing a hell of a lot less and getting higher scores than him. I don't know what your take is there. You can also not comment on it.
I'll comment on the Connor scores. I thought they were on the lower side,
Yeah,
and the score when he needed it most was on the higher side, if I'm honest.
absolutely. Yeah.
Like you said, at the end of the 35 minutes, did the surfer make the heat who needed to? Yeah. I don't really love it when they do it that way, though, because then it's just a bit, I don't know, shady, or it kind of highlights that they maybe made a mistake and then they fixed the mistake rather than taking time and, I don't know, reviewing it more thoroughly. I don't know. But yeah, I share the same insight where the first couple scores were a little undercooked and then maybe a little bit of overcooking on the last one.
Yeah, because I personally, and I haven't watched it since, so I could be tripping, but I don't think that was his best wave in the heat. I think his other waves, at least one of his other waves, was better than that final one. And I think they just went, God, like if we watch this heat now in isolation, taking all numbers away, and we just watch Ethan's two best waves and Connor's two best waves, I think they would probably feel that Connor probably should have taken the win. And I also think that's maybe why that last score, even though like it was surfed amazingly, I think they almost had to just give it to him just to basically level out the judging in that heat, because I really thought they were really hard on him to begin with. Also, back to the 10-point ride. I don't know if you know this. You may have, because I left a comment on one of Stab's posts, but that one of the judges gave him a 9.7.
I think that was comment of the year. Can you tell our listeners if they didn't see it? They probably did, because what, 300 and something likes on the post. What was it?
Yeah, I don't know. He got over 300, but it was basically, yeah, like just basically riding off the bloke that gave him a 9.7. Like, you can't do that to him. He's never had a 10 before, and you're going to throw him at bloody 9.7. Come on.
What did you say? I hope you get every traffic light. I hope you get every red light on the way home.
Something like that, which is, I could have said things. I was trying to think of things that weren't super offensive, and I was like, that's a good one. Like, that'll just ruin your day slightly without being too heavy on you. So
another one's, I hope you kick your toe or something like that.
Yeah. I'm going to I might even stockpile a few, and just those comments seem to do quite well. So I might write them in my notes and pull them out when needed. And look, our sentiments of just being a good win for team surfing were echoed by seemingly the entire internet, as you touched on before. One of the listeners, Connor Tamana, sorry if I've butchered your name there, mate, but declaring that the win had him simultaneously crying and rocking a semi at the same time. So it's some crazy insights there.
I think what he's trying to say is he had a cry wank.
They come about. With that one?
They do come about.
Are you familiar?
It's been many, many moons since a cry wank, my friend.
Beautiful. But we'll leave that.
I know what he's throwing down there, Connor. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Can I just jump in and to solidify that the best surfer won, and sorry, not the best surfer. What am I even talking about? What I'm trying to say is Connor was cheered up by Leo and Jake Marshall. I'm sure if you went back through any other event, tell me an event where someone's cheered up by two other fellow CT members.
Yeah, that's a very
fucking
good point.
Rare occurrence.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, that was like the moment where it's like, yeah, everyone wanted him to unconsciously win. And did you get around the live mic that was just kind of on as he was walking up? There was plenty of cursing. I loved it. He was just raw emotion, and I loved that they didn't cut it. He was just like, oh, fuck, this is sick. Like, just stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, keep it rolling. It was
100%. That's, like, people want to see that stuff. I think it's good for the sport, you know, if they can post raw, like, unedited, uncensored emotions. Like, people really appreciate seeing that. And I guess that's why, like, podcasts like ours and That Swell sort of provide such value to people, because they get to see that. And I think if the WSL was switched on, they'd maybe play into that a little bit more. Another comment that we got was from speaking of Ain't That Swell, Vaughan Blakey. I'd like you to read this with your best Vaughan inflection, Zach. Have you got the
Yeah,
comment
on the
there?
spot. I know how he says the first two words. Oh, lazy, brah. I'm not
Go
doing
on.
the rest. I can't do the rest.
It says Elise Bra has nuclear warheads hidden inside those juicy glutes.
Yeah, that's a Vorno comment if ever I've heard one.
Yeah, and it's bang on. He's got some tree trunks on him, that bloke. Very, very excited. Like I said, very excited to catch up with him this weekend, and hopefully, Zach. We've been obviously his phone's been ringing off the chain here, but we're going to try our very hardest to tie him down before he goes to Chope. So keep an eye out for that one. Also, shout out to Trav Davies.
Oh, yeah. Called this thing from deep.
He really did. And if we were a smart man, which we eventually were, but we weren't at the time, you could have made an awful lot of money because come quarterfinals time, there was only 2 Goofies left in the draw, and they both made the final. Trav Davies, Goofies and Turns will win J-Bay, and aside from a few large punts from Yago on the early days of the events, he couldn't have really nailed that anymore on the head. Now,
I'm going to say that Trav Davies has a crystal ball. Hasn't told anyone about it.
100%.
Hasn't told the news or nothing. He's got a crystal ball.
So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Like I say, we're going to try and tie Connor down. There will be more J-Bay talk if we do. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one. Now, something else happened this week in another comp. Actually, a comp in a wave pool.
Did you watch much of this?
I tried my hardest, Zach.
What do you think? Just give me a little one-sentence overview wrap-up of the Korean wave pool QS.
Monotonous.
Yeah.
Tough to watch.
That was hard. That's where Finley, crywank. Tough.
What, over the Korean wave pool?
Yep. Frothing, new, nice, but at the end of the day, it's just, yeah.
It was, you can't polish a turd, and that was very much a turd. It's hard enough to watch Buddy Kelly's wave pool, and that thing is one of the better waves you'll ever see, really. To watch
it looked better. It looked more rippable than others, but I don't know. I was just waiting for these like fireworks, and it just never came. It was just stock standard backhand snap. And might I add, some of the surfing was impeccable.
Yes.
Like textbook surfing. I get that, but fuck being a judge at that event. Just 10 hours of just 4-point rides.
Seriously, like really good surfing, and it's not taken away from any of the athletes that were in that event because everyone was ripping. It's just really hard to watch a 2-foot left for 8+ hours. It's really tough, and everyone's surfing really well, but they're only going left. They're doing the same. Almost everyone's doing the exact same combination of turns and in the same spot. And it's like there was a couple of crew like your Reef Hazelwoods and Bronson Mady's trying to switch things up a little bit and throw down a reverse, which they got rewarded quite handsomely and ended up in the final. So obviously the judges were looking for that, but it's just hard just in general. You only get maybe, I think it was 4 waves to show the judges. And if you fall off on your first 2, sort of a bit of head noise would start creeping in and a lot of sort of safety surfing just to try and get your 5 or your 6, which doesn't necessarily make for great viewing. What did though, Zach? And they put on a bit of an air show at the end of one of the days.
I could get around and feel like someone maybe could have been Ty Serrati, maybe listening to the Largo Potty and is listening to our comments around specialty events, perhaps. That's a full-blown lie. He's definitely not listening. But so good to see him branch. That's new. That was huge. Like, although it might have only had 1,000 people watching on the live stream and whatnot, that's a big thing for them to do. And I feel like perfect way to test it.
I dare say the viewership numbers would have gone up a lot. Like if you compared the hour-long air show or whatever it was, compared to the day's viewing of surfing in that pool, I think there would have been a sort of vast sort of contrast between the two.
When the broadcast was working, might I add.
Yes, there was lots of
few technical difficulties there.
Definitely. There was a lot of the time they were like zoomed out. It seemed like they were in like a skyscraper, like looking down on the pool, and you could see someone. It's just like a little black speck just doing turns, and you're like, oh, I can see a bit of spray there. I don't know who that is or what's happening, but the air show was entertaining for sure. Another friend of the show, Jarvis Earl, your mate, Leno's mate. I've sent you a clip to your phone. I'd like you to
I
pull up,
haven't
'cause
seen it.
there's no way you've seen this, and I'd love you to watch it and react live. Tell us when it's up.
Okay.
Not expecting Hail Mary here, that's for sure.
Nah, nice setup though.
Racing, hits the section. There it is.
Oh my god.
Like, not good for any part of his body at all. And
That
we
looked like floppy leg.
Mm.
Like when your shin has just left the chat and it's just a right angle. Like your fucking toes are about to hit your forehead. Oh my god, that was horrific.
really bad, like a proper car crash, eh? Jarvis Earl actually became a surfboard, like the first person in history to become a surfboard.
Do you know when you're a Grom, and some people probably still watch it, but you type in like sports injuries and it's just soccer and they kick the ball around someone's shin and the shin just is like completely malleable at that point and it just bends back around the other person's shin. That's what that looked like.
It was horrific. Like, and I was like, maybe Jarvis is the first person to identify as a surfboard after that. Like that,
We could get him a flag.
get him a rainbow flag with a surfboard on it. He
LGBTQ plus surfboard.
Insane, bro. Like he comes up like pretty as he does, smiling with his big toothy grin. Yeah, Colgate smile. Thumbs up, but God, man, I hope to God he's all right, because that looks serious and you can really do a bit of damage to your body.
Well, he's not. He pulled out of the event.
Well, he did. He didn't surf the rest of the event, but I'm hoping that's just as almost a precaution for. He's got Huntington coming up in the next few days, so hopefully he's there and ready to go on that one. But yeah, Jarv, sorry to laugh at your misery there, but that's just. I feel like a lot of people would have missed that, and it needs to be brought to attention, because that thing was just stupid. Like, it was insane how low to your surfboard you got in the splits.
Yeah, that looked like you said, a car crash. That was not pleasant viewing. Would have been sick if he stomped it, but
yeah.
It was.
And I love Lennox Smith's commentating that air, actually, and he's like, before in the lead up to it, he's like, yeah, he's got like a 90% land rate of these things. And if that's the one that you don't want.
That he said, shiver me timbers. Is that not the best call ever? Shiver me timbers. Without trying to swear, and that comes to his mind. Love it.
Nah, like I said, fingers crossed Jarvis is all right there as well. He's got a Challenger Series to qualify on this year, so hopefully he can keep going there.
One more thing to add in there, Kobayashi, are you getting around that? A little bit of Zen spiritual work.
I actually missed that. Was he doing some Tai Chi?
Allegedly, when surfers were paddling for their waves, he was like doing really loud sneezes and coughs.
Really?
Because the takeoff zone's like difficult. Like you can nosedive really easy. And apparently he was doing some loud coughs and sneezes to throw other surfers off. But then before his wave was like summoning the avatar gods and doing like all this pretty hocus pocus wizardry. But hey, look, semi worked. He got second place.
Yeah. Did he actually? Kei Kobayashi.
He got second.
No way.
And I might just throw this in here. I felt like the Asian surfers dominated that.
Mate, they were looking far and away better than everyone else, especially on the ladies.
Super spicy.
On the ladies' side, it was very evident.
Holy shit, man. Those names I've never heard of. And I was like, why are they not on tour?
No, it was
That's
evident,
a genuine question, though. Like, why are they not on tour?
It looked that way. They would. I don't know. I don't know why the answer to that. What the answer to that question is, Zach. But if you look at the final, 3 of the 4 people were Japanese. So, and that's on the ladies' side. If you go to, I'm sure the semi-finals would have probably been very similar. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 of the 8 are all Japanese. Like they really were far and away better than the rest of the world in that wave pool, and maybe because they spend a lot of time in there and they've got their equipment more dialed, or that style of wave suits them more. With they tend to have a bit more of a sort of compressed and sort of quick responsive,
Super agile,
really agile timing as well. And yeah, look, maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure.
for sure. I reckon it does.
Yeah, but look, they did well. It's a lot of points. It's 6,000, so for them that's a great result. We'll move now on to some listener questions. First one, Steady Man. Is Jack surfing just for points? Almost feels like he's lost that bit extra after JJF's left the tour.
Yeah, I can agree with this actually. Just hasn't really had that pizzazz that he usually brings. But what I will say, if he's going to come out and shine at any event, it's the next one.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a tough one to comment on because I feel like he's not overachieved in the past at these events, but we kind of came out early on in the year and said that Jack's, well, I did anyway. I don't necessarily need to attach your name to this because it didn't go too well for me afterwards, but Jack is the most sort of, or the best all-round surfer on the planet. And then he proceeded to go out and lose first heat in small burley. But like in the last few years, he's done really well at events that I didn't really think he should have.
Bells Beach being one of them.
Beach for starters. J-Bay, he's had results in Mexico on the long right-hand point break. Like he's sort of transitioning his surfing away from just that big wave guy. And I think this year it's sort of almost, he's had a bit of a down year and hasn't got those results he's been getting in previous years at these other events. Albeit he did win bells, right? So that was one there. But look, I just think he's kind of surfing to, I don't know. You could make the point there that JJF sort of pushes him a little bit, but I think he's definitely there this year to win a title. He's not just there to collect points, So and collect prize money. So look, I think you'll see at Chopes he'll be really hungry and he'll be looking to push himself, or try at least push himself back into the top 5. I don't know how achievable that is for him because everyone seems to be running away with it. We'll get into the rankings in a bit and have a look at that. Second question, Freya Prum. Connor was doing a strange duck dive under washroos. Can you please explain this? Did you see this?
No, was he doing a poo though? Could have been a poo. He has pooed in the jersey.
He has. I didn't actually specifically notice this happening, but I have seen him at Lennox Point, and I reckon this is what he would have been doing. He'll oftentimes, rather than duck dive, he'll stand on his board on a big wave and push it down that way, and then basically pull his body down so he's already much deeper under the water than he'd normally be, and that is a more effective way to duck dive a big rolling whitewater. I reckon if I was a betting man, and I am, I would have put money on that being the case. I've seen him do that a lot at Lennox Point, so I reckon, Freya, that's what that is. Another one from Jai Kugle, definitely butchered that as well. Is there a direct connection to WSL hyping an athlete and them choking in the early rounds? Now, I haven't done any research into this, Zach, although it does ring true for this one because they gave Ethan a pretty hard plug and he did lose in the round of 16 or whatever it was, or the quarterfinals. Look, maybe I don't necessarily buy into that too much, but it'd be something to keep an eye on into the future events and just see what happens there.
I wonder if he's talking about commentators' curse or just like
I think
Instagram like plugs.
I think it's probably referencing, they posted that clip of Ethan, and I don't know this to be a fact, but they posted that clip of Ethan on the smaller day and was going, holy hell, like Ethan's ripping, and then he proceeded to lose in the next heat. I'm guessing it's that, and the commentator's curse does seem to be a real thing. You'll see it happen quite a lot, but I'm not sure. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Actually, quite an insightful comment here from none other than Garfield, Harry O'Brien.
Not involving foreskins this time.
Do surfers get scored down for falling on an end section rather than just pulling off? It's a good
I've
question.
always had a bone to pick where judging is often not accumulative as the wave goes.
There's
Rather,
deductions.
it's deductions by the end.
Deductive.
Shits me to fucking tears. So if you just do a Conor O'Leary 10 and fall at the end, like, I'm not saying it would be a 10, but they go, oh, we're going to take points off. It's like, what? It makes no sense to me. It's like painting a picture and then getting an eraser and just doing one big strike through it and just going, my picture looks good now. It's just like, why?
Yeah, look, I think I think they probably do prefer a pull off rather than a fall off, and I
have to agree, which is just shocking.
I just think it's a psychological thing there where where a pull off, it's sort of showing control and you're showing completion of the wave. If you do fall, it just leaves that little bit of a sour taste in their mouths at the end of the wave, and I do think they cruel you a little bit for that. It is purely psychological and hard to sort of, I guess, avoid. But yeah, I think there is a little bit of that there. So well done, Harry. Great question. And then this might be one for you, Zach. Jai Sen says, when is Ethan going to win an event? Obviously, he's already won events before, so I'm just assuming this is like another event. Is he just better as a free surfer? Now, as team manager of Billabong, Zach, how do you feel about Ethan becoming a free surfer?
If it was his wishes, so be it. He would then become the best free surfer in the world.
Yeah.
I think he would dominate off tour and off tour, on tour and off tour.
Yeah, I agree.
Surfing's just that good. It just wouldn't matter.
Nah, he's a competitive animal as well, and I think it's, again, similar to Jack. It's been a bit of an off year for Ethan, and I do fully expect him to bounce right back into next year. And he's still sort of thereabouts. Like, I think he's in the top 10. I don't actually know the rankings off by heart. We'll get into that, like I said, in a second. But yeah, look, he would. Zach makes a good point. If you put him in the water as a free surfer and that's all he wanted to do, he's still going to sell plenty of board shorts. So look, it's a win-win there, really.
Sorry, he's
not
going anywhere. He's got so much unfinished business on the tour.
He's got a world title to win. He's our next great hope.
Well, I think he's just got more events to win.
Yeah,
we mentioned it maybe last week. He's the best surfer with the worst track record.
Yeah, for sure.
Not worst, obviously, but a lackluster track record.
Yeah, well, he's look. I kind of stitch him up there, saying he's top 10. He's still in the top 5. So look, he kind of had that bad of a year. I'm seeing couple of thirds. He's had 3 thirds. He's been so consistent all year. Quarterfinals and thirds, pretty well. He's counting, which is really, really good.
It's crazy that this proves how good of a surfer he is. We're getting listener comments saying, when is Ethan going to win an event? Imagine if the Grog had this list of fucking events. He'd be buying houses up on Uluwatu Cliff, like coming out the wazoo.
There'd be a Grog statue at
There'd
Lennox
be a
Point.
statue, 100% at Ubertubes. But that's how good Ethan is, that he has not a bad year. It's an incredible year. He has a slightly
subpar
less fortunate year.
Yeah.
And people are going, oh, he's done, or I'm not saying that's what Jai Sen said.
No.
But it's funny, like the pressure that the world puts on him for having a semi-average to good year is incredible. It just goes to show how good he actually is at surfing.
Well, put it this way. We all know how well Italo started the year. He went 3rd, 1st, 2nd in the first 3 events. Ethan's less than 1,000 points behind him in the rankings. So if you look at it that way, then it really hasn't been a shocker for Ethan at all. And I actually almost feel bad for saying that it has been. We do expect event wins from Ethan, and he's been close this year on 3 occasions. He's made the semis and he hasn't broken through. So it's a good point to make, in that you probably do expect him to convert in at least one of those, given he's had 3 semifinals. But in saying that, let's move straight on now to the rankings. So we'll start off with the women's, because they're a little bit more little bit more cut and dry. Like, we know what's happening here. Top three have all clinched already. So Molly Picklum, Gabriella Bryan, and Caitlin Simmers will all be in the water at Fiji come final five time. We then have fourth place is Izzy Nichols, and fifth place is Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. Now, this is where a little bit of movement could happen. And there's probably only maybe one or two servers max that can fall in. So I'd almost sort of secure Izzy there, even though she wouldn't feel comfortable being secured there. I'd almost leave her. I think the one that's maybe in a bit of danger is Betty Lou, because I don't necessarily have either of those girls doing super well at chopes, given look, Betty Lou's had good results she's had a good result at pipe before, but her tube riding probably isn't up to scratch with your Molly Picklums and your Katie Simmers, and you're going to have some wild cards there that are going to be very, very tough to beat, and one of which being Vaheen Fierro. She will more than likely win the event. So if you draw any of those straight away, it's going to be lights out. You've also got Erin Brooks there, who I feel like will be pushing for that event win too.
Did Vaheen get the wild card or something?
Vaheen's going to get a wild card by the sounds of. And I do fully expect Erin Brooks to be right there when the whips are cracking too. Unfortunately, it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a mission impossible for Erin to crack into that top five.
I don't know. Well, she's at 38,000 points. If she gets 10,000 points, then she's above a lot of them, depending obviously what Izzy and Betty get.
For sure. But you've got throwaways as well to throw in. And then you've also got if Betty and Izzy can just make one heat, really, they're kind of almost out of touch with where Erin is. So it's going to be tough. I'd love to see it because I got her as my world champ for this year, and I think if she makes the final five, she's probably your short price favorite to win. But yeah, look, I feel like you probably Caroline Marks is going to be. She's in at 6. She's right there as well, and she's probably going to be a bit of a danger woman in terms of cracking into that top in top 5, just because she's a goofy footer, and she will probably have a slight advantage there. But yeah, other than that, I don't really see Tyler doing anything. I don't see Lakey doing anything. The only other person would be Erin Brooks, and she needs a miracle. So unfortunate, because one or two more heats go Erin's way throughout the year. She's pushing for a world title, in my opinion. So yeah, very, very tough one there. We'll move on to the men's. So Iago Dora is actually the only men's surfer to have clinched his spot on the men's tour. He's locked in. Probably will go into first place as well. Geordie Smith is right there as well. I don't really see him falling out of the top 10. He's 3,000 points clear of third place.
It's crazy that Geordie's not locked in already with 2 event wins. The same as Iago has 2 event wins.
Yeah. He's had the best year, hasn't he? And he just, I think the thing with Iago is that he's had that second place as well, which is, he's had 2 wins and a second. So it's that's really elevated him. But yeah, it seems like Geordie's had the best year ever, and he's still, you can't say he's a lock, although I'm prepared to. Third place, Kanoa Igarashi, and I kind of almost wrote this bloke off too, but I think he's going to need 3 people to overtake him, which is going to be tough. Again, he won't be feeling comfortable where he's at. He'll want to put it in writing that he's in there, but look, it's going to be tough for him. And then your other 2, you got 4th place and 5th place, Italo and Ethan Ewing, respectively. This is where the movements can sort of happen. So they are on, what do we got? We got 42,000 points for Italo and 41,000, nearly 42 for Ethan. Then you go down to 6th place, Griffin's on 41-1.
If Griffin sneezed right now, he would almost go into 5th. That's how close it is.
Yeah, and you do have to look at throwaways here. So they're all throwing away pretty low results, so it's not going to factor in too much. Griffin's throwing away, 1,300 points. So is Ethan, so that doesn't really factor in. It's basically whoever finishes higher out of Griffin and Ethan will take that final spot, unless, of course, we move down the rankings. Jack Robinson's in at 8th. He's going to need to do a bit more. He's 4,000 points behind Griffin, roughly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. The throwaways are already in.
Well, I think you have 2, don't you?
We should know. We have a surfing podcast.
You either
But
have
I
one
have
or 2.
no idea.
Put it this way, the throwaways aren't going to matter so much this time around because they all have the same throwaway. So it basically just cancels each other out. Jack Robbo is going to need to do a lot. You'd think he's going to have to win the event or at least final. Baron Mamiya is not without a hope either. But again, gonna need a miracle. But if anyone's going to pull off a miracle at Chopu, it's probably going to be Baron.
For sure.
We know that the wildcards for this event are going to be Cowley Vast and pretty sure it's Mihimana Bray. It's either him or the other guy that lives there. I've forgotten his name, but I'm pretty sure it's those 2. They can throw a spanner in the works for sure. And this is sort of the venue where you get to where the wildcards are nearly the favourites to actually win the event. Cowley Vast, I think a few of the listeners might remember, he actually beat Kelly Slater a few years ago going switchfoot. And it's no easy task to beat Kelly Slater at Chopes, let alone going the opposite way.
He's also got a Challenger Series win already.
Yes.
So could be on a potential heater of a year.
I think did he get second?
Fuck, Chippo's going to hate me. Yep, he got second to Chippo.
He got second. But still, like, he's looking red hot to qualify for the tour. So
at an event that no one would have, picked him to. Obviously, coming out of Chopu, everyone's just thinking, big waves and whatnot. And it's somewhat true, to be honest. He's really starting to repaint that narrative of that, not being able to perform in performance waves. So, yeah, this could be, he's on home turf. So if anyone's going to win it, I would say it's going to be him, to be honest.
Yeah. I look, when these teams come around to pick, he will be almost, I'd probably chuck him in as my power surf, to be honest. He's that good out there.
Not a bad bet.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to have a wild card as your times 2. Moving on from that, because it's all speculation at this point. It's really hard to comment on numbers on the fly, but that's just sort of top 5s on both sides with a few sort of contenders thrown in the mix as well. We'll go now into fantasy. Now, Zach, I don't know if you've been... Actually, no, you have been looking at the fantasy league because you actually you did well for once. What did you come?
I got 4th.
You came 4th.
I'm standing next to the podium. I'm like that spare pricket and orgy on the side that's just not on a little block. You're just standing next to him.
You're sat in the cuck chair. You're a little cuck.
Yep.
Nice. Well, I'm not even in the room, so at least you're in the room, mate. I'll pull up.
You know what? Like, the only thing that got me was everyone versed each other in the quarters. I pretty much had all the quarters and just ruined me.
But I guess you were amassing points the whole time too. Like, I think I had like one surfer left on the men's and ladies coming into like the semis. Like, it was heavy. So yeah, you did come 4th. So the results for J-Bay, first place was Saundo 75. Second place, Rick Boss, which is Connor's younger brother.
That is ironic.
I'm assuming he probably had the times 2 on Connor, which is very well done. I've been surfing in at 3rd, Whiteman 4th, and Bowles Daz in at 5th.
I told you last episode I grilled you for not putting Connor in your fantasy.
Oh, I won't be making that mistake again. That was dumb. We move now onto the top 5, we'll go top 5 overall. So this is for the prizes at the end of the year. Just a side note, we have to arrange those because it's coming around awfully quickly.
Yep. Oh wow. Yeah, okay. Yep. Okay. I just got paid, so if worst comes to worst, we're just gonna go to the surf shop that you work at and just go fill up a Santa's fucking sack full of stuff.
Yeah. No, we'll make it worthwhile. It's been a long year. And thanks to everyone that's gotten behind us. We're going to make it bigger and better next year, so stay tuned for that. Top 5 overall. First place, we've got a new leader, Redley. So Red from Lennox, he's taken first place.
That's good because the previous first place has been unable to win the prize.
Well, look, you say that, it's as close as it's been all year. It's actually insane. So Redley, first place, 7,496 points. Second place, Team Liquid, 7,491 points. So there's 5 points between first and second. Third place, Breakers Boards, 7,450. So there's 46 points between first and third. Bowie's in at fourth, 7,425, and then Ballina which is Andy, who's been like pretty well top one to, or pretty
Dominant.
well top three all year, you'd say. He's been first for most of it. He's down at fifth. He's still in the mix, 7,326. That is crazy because the multiplier here as well at Chopes is, I think it's 1 point, or it's actually two times. So you get double points here. So it's really, you could probably win from as far back as, like, if you have a really good round, you could probably win as far back as like eighth. Ruver's in at eighth. I honestly think if you have a hell one, you could push up. So that's insane. I can't believe how close that is.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But yeah, so good luck to everyone. We'll be tuning in to do our teams on our Chopes episode. We won't go much into that now. We'll finish off though. We're nearly there. It's actually quite late here. I've got to edit this thing in a second, which is tough, but we'll get there.
Full Red Bull session.
I'm not sleeping. Huntington now. Challenger Series event number 3, I believe, is coming up quickly. Now, is it 4? Event 4. Don't know. Doesn't matter really, does it? Neither does the forecast. The forecast doesn't matter. Who cares? It's Huntington. Really, we're just going to pick our 3 people that we think will go well at this event, essentially. Who's your 3?
I've gone Morgs, Chippo, Nolan, Raposa.
Yep.
I'm pretty excited about the Nolan one.
I went through the rankings and I nearly put him in my picks as well. He's good, man. He's very good.
Yeah, the Frizz. Frizz knows how to do a big punt too, so I feel like he's got all conditions covered. He's at home. That's pretty dangerous.
He's in the Matt Myers hype camp as well. They all get around each other, and it's really cool to see. And he seems to feed off that energy as well. So he's got an amazing backhand snap on him, and he's also got a really good frontside air game as well. So he's going to be dangerous. He's
a good lad too.
Yeah, good bloke. That's good to hear. Mine, I'm going to go Mateus Hurdy, who sort of speaks for himself. He's a little small wave guru. I think he'll do some damage. Winter Vincent is my other pick, my Aussie pick. He's very quickly becoming a favourite surfer of mine. Very smooth and stylish, but he's got a very good air game too. You may remember a final that we discussed at length with Bronson Matey at the start of the year in the World Juniors. He has since pushed on from that and is sort of replicating that on the Challenger Series. So great to see. And then my third pick is Michael Rodriguez. He's a battler.
Don't like it, but he's going to go very well.
He will. He's not the prettiest surfer in the world, although I do really appreciate his surfing. He's very fast and sparky. Always looks like he's riding an epoxy. Even he's probably not most of the time, but his turns are really quick. I think he can do very well at this event also. So they're my 3. You got anything more to add on Huntington? You got any?
Just hate the way that we say it, Huntington, and I hate the way that it's spelt.
Too many T's.
Should be a Huntington, like honey, Huntington. Rolls off the tongue way nicer than Huntington, Tin Manton.
Well, with that little bit of gold from Zach there, we might just leave it. It's late, 10:48 here.
Yeah, I haven't even had dinner. It's 9 o'clock here.
Zach's doing a hunger strike. I'm gonna edit this and I'm gonna go to sleep. But thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Like always, if you haven't already, it really means a lot to us if you can chuck us a follow on Instagram at the Largo Podcast and like and subscribe. Awful, hate that on YouTube, and then on your podcast app as well. If you can chuck us a follow on there, really helps us out. And yeah, we'll be back next week with, don't know if it'll be a Chopes one yet. It'll probably be more of a Huntington one, because I think Chopes is a little bit away still. And hopefully a chat with Connor. So
yes, and I think we might even have another guest teed up as well, Finley. Which
am I aware of?
You're aware of who it is. It's just been a bit of backwards and forwards and getting it done. So, but nonetheless, there will be another guest episode coming.
Great, love it. All right, well, we'll leave you guys there. I'll find out who this guest is because I'm actually no idea. And yeah, thanks again for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Can't wait to be back in the studio with you, mate. These fucking microphones are heavy. I miss our boom.
A few of these bad boys as well. Absolutely. All right, see you guys next week.
Adios.
Ciao. Bye.